Welcome to a brand new week. It's Monday, the 14th of October, 2024. Gold and silver are seeming strong. We'll talk more about those. Do live gold, silver, platinum analysis, plus all the usual fun stuff we do. If you're watching this on the replay, look, just use the time codes below to go to your favorite part right away. But if you're watching live, you get to enjoy every single thing we do here at Good Morning Stackers with me, Joe Main. In the first 1 minute of the show, however, we do what we call here the Synchronised Slurp. That's where you grab a tasty beverage. I don't care what it is. Preferably, look, alcoholic this time of the morning. It could be the evening where you are, wherever you are around the world. Alcohol is poison, but a little bit of poison every now and then ain't going to kill you. I just don't do it on the regular, people, but slurp your tasty beverage synchronously together. The rule is you must do it audibly. Here we go. It's the honor system. In 3, 2, 1, slurp it, baby. Jeez, get to it, Joe. There we go. How's everyone doing? Brand new week, as I said, Monday the 14th of October here in Melbourne, Australia. Okay, yes, we are in the future right now. Who the hell am I? If you're one of my 742 subscribers and you're one of the brand new ones over the weekend, then welcome. I'm Joe Main. I've worked in the precious metals industry here in Australia, in the retail industry, over 3 major bullion dealers over 11 years, and I've been a stacker for longer than that. Now I do this week daily live show, and I help you launch and grow on YouTube and other social media for any kind of business. You know, I've done it successfully for Bullion Now. You know my face, you've heard my voice on all the Bullion Now big videos. Ainslie Bullion, I revitalized their stuff, and now I'm working with other bullion dealers and every other kind of business as well. Got multiple clients in all different kinds of areas. So hit me up with an email, gmstackers@gmail.com, gmstackers@gmail.com. If you have a business that can benefit from social media stuff. That great marketing pitch there, Joe. I'm really good at it. So hit me up with an email. I'm not going to, the proof's in the pudding, people. But of course, in the first part of the show, we do the shout outs. We talk to the GMS family. Mark, Florida is back. Let me see if I can get that a little bit better with the lighting. Mark, Florida. How's everything going over there in Florida? Mark, Florida is from Florida. Mark, Florida is the quintessential Florida man, whatever that means. Florida man saved a cat from a burning building. Florida man ran naked through the streets of blah, blah, blah. How's it going, Mark, Florida? Let us know what's the deal over there at the moment. I'd like to know how everyone's doing. So Lance says, Dobro jutro. Okay, and GMS. What Lance does every single time he's on, he puts something in a different language. It's usually good morning in a different language or hello. I'm going to Dobro jutro. Some Eastern European thing, or maybe, I don't know. Jutro sounds kind of like, I don't know, Spanishy. It's not Spanish, but anyway, tell me what it is. I want to know. Hazard, GMS. Morning, Joe, says Jason Ashworth. Morning, Jason. Morning, Jason. Never does the GMS, but now it's a running gag with us. Hi, everyone. Chris King is back. Great to see you. Last cup of tea before bed. Last cup of tea before bed? Is it? Hang on. Is it, Chris? Big weeks. Big week for silver. Let's go. Terrible British aristocratic accent there. I'm not good at them, but I love to do them. Great to see you, Chris, who is from the UK as far as I'm aware. I think you are. And particularly you said last cup of tea. You have to be. I think you are, though, from memory. Tony Pearson is back. Chat Mum is here. GMS. Good morning, Chat Farm. Latin. Oh, it was Latin. Okay. Good to know. Thank you. The dying language. Pretty much gone. I remember an old mate of mine, still a mate of mine, when he was going through school, he went to a nice private school, and they had to learn Latin, like for some reason, Did anyone really use it? No. So that is the GMS shout-outs. Great to see you. Hit the big red subscribe button to join the GMS family. Let's talk about, hang on. Brought to you by Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, Wealthstack, wealthstack.com. You may or may not hear a little bit more about them in some part of the show if I remember to do it. But you know them, you love them, you know who they are. Let's talk about golds and silvers seemingly strong thing going on right here. Now, I made sure to put in the title of this video, seeming strong, okay? Because we need to look at the current levels that they are, that they're at. The gold price, and we'll take a look at that right now. We'll share the screen. Is interesting. We are around about. It depends. I'll show you the screen right now. We're around about at the mother of all trend lines again. So we've had a nice little rebound. Let me just get rid of that. So that's working. Great, fantastic. And right here, let's share the screen. So this is gold on the daily time frame price in USD, 2,650 US dollars. What's 2,650? That's around about the mother of all trend lines. You know the mother of all trend lines, but just for the new subscribers or for the new people watching this for the very first time, the mother of all trend lines goes all the way back to 1980, okay, through the peak. So peak of 1980, peak of 2011, and we're right there right now. We were suggesting, I've been suggesting for a while, around about here is a peaky part, okay? Doesn't mean we can't, you know, shoot higher from here for a little bit, but from here, a little bit peaky for a bunch of reasons. And we did state, I said around about 2,650, give or take 20 bucks, would be an area to watch out for. And we've certainly seen that. I'll go back to the daily. Now, what this is doing for me, unfortunately, and TradingView really needs to get its butt into gear. I'm using the tradingview.com website. It's playing around with me on this daily time frame right here. It says it's above the mother of all trend lines, but no. When you go back and you go to the weekly, it's below the mother of all trend lines. You go to the hourly, it's below, okay? And what do you know? Gee, what do you know? We're finding resistance here. Resistance right here. So the 4 hour, there. See, look at the 4 hour. It's also very clear resistance so far at the mother of all trend lines. We're making a play for it again. But look at the daily. It tends to, now it's back again. Okay, so TradingView playing funny buggers with me. But here it is properly now on the daily time frame. So we saw that move up above the mother of all trend lines, okay? I was saying, you know, from around this kind of area here, once we broke out of here, I was saying, watch for the mother of all trend lines. We're probably going to see it as a magnet. It's going to get sucked up to it. It was sucked up to it. It's really obvious stuff. A lot of other people were talking about it, okay? So it's a lot of confluences of different opinions, and I just happened to be one of them. I agreed with other people. It was a very obvious area, and then we spent a few days above it, but really a failure to hold the mother of all trend lines. So that's why I was saying from here, looks a bit peaky. Now, we did just in the last week, we went back down to around about 2,600 US dollars. And just over the last couple of days, and we closed the week last week at the mother of all trend lines. We didn't clear it though, okay? What do we talk about? We talk about closes and not spikes. We technically spiked a little bit above it, but we closed at or below the mother of all trend lines. Okay, so gold is seeming strong, okay? A great move, and this is positive, okay? We've had a move down here, and we've had a retest. That's good. It's seeming strong, however, we need to close above it, okay? So I did say this in the Gold Silver Stackers Australia forum post from this morning, that we do need to see it clear and hold and close this, well, any week, but a week, I preferably want this week, but any week above the mother of all trend lines, okay? So again, the positives are, look at this spike right here. Right down, that's down to that $2,600 level. That's a good green spike. We like these long downward spikes, particularly when it ends in green for the week. So that's another positive, okay? It ended in green, but it didn't stay above the mother of all trend lines. It closed, right? Closed at or just below. But this is positive, okay? Because this says, I'm selling on you, and the buyers go, ha ha ha, no, you're not sucked in, bro. And they suck all that stuff right up, suck all the gold right back up, okay? So good to see around that area, just needs to stay above. So gold and silver, and I'll show you silver in a moment, seeming strong. Just be aware of where we are at the moment at a very crucial point, okay? See, this is what it's done to me again. So now the daily time frame, this has moved, and that's why it's annoying. So I'll go back to the weekly. Okay, so I am not ruling out. I am not ruling out yet. I'm not ruling out yet a pump to the 2875 to 3000 psychological value. 2875 is a key Fibonacci level. 3000 US dollars is the psychological value. Anywhere between there, I'm not ruling out that pump just yet. There might be room left in the tank. It will prove that to me. There's more room left in the tank if we close a week above, again, the mother of all trend lines right there. You can call it around about 2,660. You close around there, 2,660, 2,670, close a week, not spike, but close. And then that's looking like there is room left in the tank. I have, as I know, I will show you right here. Oh, okay, just watch out. We've certainly got, again, you can pump a little bit higher. You can do this, right? This is the relative strength index, okay? So on the weekly time frame, peak here into oversold, a second peak here so far. Could it be a double top? Yes, it could roll over from here, and this is why I say it's peaky from here. But because of this move right here, you can see this, we can spend a bit of time in the oversold territory, okay? Overvalued, oversold. So you can easily peak. You can easily sort of stretch this up towards around about that kind of 84, 85-ish level on the relative strength index on the weekly time frame, which could give it some legs to move to this general area, okay? So again, not ruling out the pump, but again, just looking peaky from here. That's pretty much all I need to say on the daily time frame. And yes, it's done it to me again, so ignore that. Yeah, it'll keep doing it to me. Ignore that. Assume that line is going right about there. We have been in extremely overvalued, and we're still trending down. Technically, I would want to see it bounce off here. This is what you would want to see, a bounce very quickly off there, and then start traveling back up to here again, which would give it room left in the tank, as I said, to make that move up to that $28.75 to $3,000 level. On the monthly time frame, let me get rid of this. On the monthly, see on the monthly again, in extremely overvalued already, extremely overbought, overvalued on the monthly time frame, again with just some headroom, little bit of headroom to peak above to that 84, 85 level. Again, this is the monthlies, right? So this can play out for this whole entire month or the next entire month. So there is that room to move. That's this is a long way of saying the same stuff I've been saying last week, really, which is room to move, but it's looking peaky. I know. Bit of a broken record at the moment, but we're just in this little very key spot, okay? So, and I'm not going to be sensationalist, and I'm not going to be one of those people that says, gold to $10,000 in 6 months' time and all that kind of stuff, and silver to the moon in 3 months and all that. That's not me, okay? I just look at the weight of evidence, and that's what it's telling me at the moment. Looking peaky from here, still with the room to move, okay? That is gold. If you're new to the channel, though, watch out for this area here, 2,570-ish, and watch out for 2,470 as the upper line in the sand that you do not want to break unless you want to see it go down to the best buy zone, and my best buy zone is between 2,250 to 2,150 US dollars for me. That would be a very good risk to reward area. Doesn't mean you should not buy and not buy. Doesn't mean you should wait. Okay, just dollar cost average, do the do, great. Hey, and if you know it hits down here when you're in a pay period, you know, a pay cycle, and you load up a little bit more down here, great, good for you. Okay. If that happens. So that is gold. Silver. Now it's interesting. I posted this title of this video just before 9 a.m. Right before 9 a.m. and we were just above here at about $31.50. And then 9 a.m. rolled. So 45 minutes ago, 9 a.m. rolled over, and then bloop, we just ticked down. So this is silver on the daily time frame. USD $31.15 US cents. We are still above $31, so we just literally spiked on the hourly. We just spiked just before. Okay, so interesting. Look at this. This is why the relative strength index for me is so powerful. Okay, you get into a period of, we're getting to extremely overvalued here. A second pump, okay, into extremely overvalued. They don't stay there all that long. Quick move just then, all the way from $31.50 under $31. Okay, so that was nearly a dollar move. So that was like an 80 cent, 90 cent move in the space of just an hour. Just gone. Okay, we're back above it on the hourly. Okay, there's room to move on the hourly down though. Okay, so we could see some lower prices from here, but great to see that's a spike so far. And again, it really seems like to me, and you can think differently, that this $31 level, as I've been harping on about for months now, I think, this $31 final level is a very, very key level. We did finally close a month just above it. This is the monthly time frame. Last month, we just closed above it. It was just over it, enough for me to say, okay, I have to stick with my guns and say, okay, look, we closed above technically 31 US dollars. So I have to be, now I'm 100% sure we're in a bull market rather than 99% sure. I'll stick with that for now. It was just, I wish it had have just closed a little bit higher last month, but I'll stick with the guns. And we've had that move, that quick spike to 33 US dollars. So far, again, silver is seeming strong at the moment. This is the weekly time frame, and you've got room to move into extremely overvalued again, right? You've got room to move there on the daily time frame. You have not been extremely overvalued on silver on the daily since May, since the 21st of May, okay? It's going to get there eventually. And on the monthly, as I said, let me get rid of that. And on the monthly, you haven't been extremely overvalued for silver since August of 2020. And it looks like we're moving in that direction. We had this beautiful, you were watching it back here. We had this beautiful consolidation, just in this little trading range here, right? Resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, support, broke through there finally, and are moving a nice little curve up. So I think it's more likely that we see higher prices from here than much, much lower prices from here, okay? Because we are ticking up on the relative strength index and we haven't been extremely overvalued for a while, okay? So I think it's more likely that we go into extremely overvalued first before any big dip into extremely undervalued. So that's why I'm already 99% sure we're in a bull market. Now I'm 100% sure because we closed that 31 US dollars. And it's seeming strong at the moment. And I say seeming because we're above that 31. Anything can happen, okay? Again, if gold has a big dip from around about here, then silver tends to follow. It just might not follow as much, okay? So that's why the gold to silver ratio you might start to see go down. We'll take a look at that in just a second. Just watch for 31 and do not close below $29.80. Otherwise, probably heading back down to the best buy zone of 28 to 26. I know I'm a broken record at the moment, and I really apologize. It's just nothing really else to say. I'm just going to hit home what I see. So silver, though, is looking more positive than gold, I would say. There's more room in the tank to get into the extremely overvalued area, whereas gold has already been in that area for a while. Cool, get it, got it. Good. Let's take a look at, we won't do higher prices for now. Don't worry about that, we're not there yet. Gold to silver ratio. And get your chart requests in. Let's do a chart request today. Maybe we'll do that. I should have said that at the start. Here's the gold to silver ratio. We're technically back in the neutral zone. We had a spike into the neutral zone, as I like to call it for science fiction fans. The neutral zone means it's any metal's game. Not one metal is saying it's giving clear signals of going to outperform the other in a long-term time frame. When we're above here, it says gold's probably going to have its time, or more likely to. When we're below this thick yellow line, it's saying silver is looking better. Okay. When we're below here, when we get below here, it confirms for me silver's longer term bull market versus gold. It's outperforming this, as I say. However, I will caution you. Let's have a look here. Well, caution, it doesn't really matter because if you're in both gold and silver, then if they're both going up in fiat dollar terms, that's okay. But out of interest, we have broken and we've bounced off so far the gold to silver ratio trend line here on the daily time frame, which currently signals strength for gold. Okay, so when this is going up, gold is outperforming silver. Okay. This is signaling some strength in gold. Okay, so just bear that in mind. We've spent this time down here. We found after I drew this in, we found exact support right there at the top end of the purple box here, and so looks like potentially a false breakdown in the gold to silver ratio. Just watch here. I would say, see this level right here at 55.8 something. Watch that blue line there. We start closing days above this blue line on the relative strength index on the daily. That really starts to signal gold is going to really outperform silver in the coming days and weeks ahead. Okay, and that would obviously coincide with getting back above this neutral zone right here, which is then bullish for gold versus silver. Okay, I'm a longer term silver bull versus gold. I do think the ratio will continue to go lower eventually, but you got to go with the message of the market. Okay, so that's so far it's saying it's just watch out for gold here. If you're an all silver holder and you want to get as much gold in your hand as possible, you do not want to see this broken. You want to see this maybe act as resistance or really tick over very soon and start closing below here at around about that 39.740 kind of area, that blue line right there. Then that signals definite silver continuing to outperform gold over a longer period. Okay, interesting where we are. Okay, that is gold silver ratio. Excuse me. Let's do platinum, and then we'll get a chart request if I have time. Yeah, I've got time for a chart request. Get one in. Today I will look at something that I've looked at before. I will give preference, to something I haven't seen before. But if there's no requests for something I haven't seen before, then I'll do something I've done before. Platinum. Now this is interesting. This is really good to see. Okay, we are back into my cautiously excited area. Okay, and I should get this put on a t-shirt. Gee, what do you know? We found support at $945, my line in the sand. It's been a line in the sand for a while since we had it here as support back in June of this year. I put that in. Okay, it acted as some support, it acted as a bit of resistance. Recently, we went back into the depression zone for platinum and nice little bounce. So closed last week on the weekly time frame. This is good. We like those spikes, right? This is the weekly time frame, a big spike, downward spike. That's good. So we closed above the thick yellow line, which is the trend line that goes all the way back to 2008, the ultimate mother of all trend lines for platinum. That's a good sign. Okay, so I'll remain cautiously excited. We've just opened a new week. So we just now need to stay above the mother of all trend lines. Let's see, that's above 970 US dollars. Don't close below 970. That's not good. Then we're possibly going back down. Okay. And the more you test an area, the more likely it is to be taken out. So we're not there yet, but hey, if we start getting back down to 945 and start closing weeks around there, you'd want to be careful that we're coming back down to the best buy zone. The best buy zone could be a good thing for you. The best buy zone is anywhere between $900 all the way down to $750 with a couple of clear stops along the way that it could find major support at. Okay. And just please would be lovely. Bounce off here, bounce off 970, and let's do something like this. Come on, platinum. Let's will it into existence, okay? There's a lot of evidence to support not from a religious perspective, but from a scientific perspective. If you look at the double slit experiment and you look at all these new things that are coming out about how our mindset can change our reality, let's all focus our attention on doing this. Let's all envisage it over the next week. Let's meditate on it. Let's really go, this is what we want. Okay? Bang. That's what you want. And let's will this into existence, people. This is what you want. Something like that. Let's focus on it. Let's will it into existence right there. We want to see, and we will see, a bounce off 970 off the mother of all trend lines on platinum, the 2008 trend line. It's going to. I'm not saying it's going to, but I'm willing it into existence. Get into my excited area. So getting excited, cautiously excited, bounce off and go to my final hurdle of 1,115. Close any month above there. Full bull for platinum, and then we'll talk about the higher prices and all that. We're not there yet. Cool. That is platinum. Let's will it into existence, people. And watch out for the 945. You don't want that to be broken. Cool. Get it? Got it. Good. AUD to USD. I won't worry about that now. Okay. That is the quick roundup. We'll get some comments and let's take a chart request. So let's get your comments now, read a few more out and get a chart request. Again, I will take preference, give preference to new charts that I've never looked at before. But if we don't get one, then I will do one we've seen before. GMS says, Silver Fox, great to see you again on the channel. Okay, Mark, an update. Thank you. A few destructive tornadoes a few days ago up and down the East Coast. But folks are suffering elsewhere in the southeast US. Not much to report from, southeast Florida. Okay, yes, mainly North Carolina having a big, hard time. Although, have you seen the amazing photos and videos of just North Carolinians, I don't know how to say it, just getting it done themselves, men with trucks, men with, and women too, but, mainly for all the heavy lifting and all that stuff, just men getting it done, right? In their ATVs and all that stuff and building ad hoc bridges and all stuff. And they didn't need FEMA. They got it done themselves. Let's see. Welcome, Silver Fox. Yes, welcome, Silver Fox. Glad you're come through on account. Mark, yeah, it looks terrible in NC, in North Carolina. Minister 988 is back, GMS. Mark Florida says, just read that Burkina Faso just privatized the UK's gold mines in Burkina Faso. Interest in PM's precious metals is growing, especially those that are still in the ground. Oh, yeah. Debt is great. A late GMS. G'day. Miss Tony, too much social and financial destruction. Unfortunately, so much more to come. Yeah, unfortunately. Well, let's hope not. Like and subscribe. Hit the like button, people. It helps me with the algorithm to get trending and all that stuff. And, of course, hit the big red subscribe button to join the family. It's truly a tragedy. Mark, prayers for all still suffering. I've watched lots of videos from NC residents. Yep. Let's see. Very clever at sensing the dodges. Don't know what that is. That's okay. Chris King says silver dropped to... yes, that's right. Exactly, yeah. Silver dropped to $30.70 pretty much within the first 2 minutes of trading. Wonder if it will be back there today. That was a quick move when it opens. So, yeah, it could test potentially. But I don't know. Oh, WT. Okay, great. We have a chart request and Lance got in first. All right, people. We'll get to your other comments, but pardon me, excuse me. Chart request time. We've had a chart request from Lance. It is WBT on the Australian Stock Exchange, ASX, a memory chip maker based in Israel. All right, cool. This is what I love doing. If you have a chart request, I love to do ones I've never seen before. I even like to know, sometimes I like to know what the fundamentals are, what the company is, what it does, but I'm just looking at it purely on the technicals, and I'll take a look at that first, and then we'll look at, memory chips. Is that going to be a thing? Yeah, probably. Chip-based stuff, probably going to be good. But WBT on the ASX, a memory chip maker based in Israel. Okay, so what we're going to do, this is for Lance. By the way, if I haven't mentioned it for a while, once I got over 500 subscribers, my super chats are open too. So just out of interest, you guys do what you want to do. That's cool, but just mentioning it. Let's see. We're going to share the screen, a chart request. Where do I do that? Oh, yeah, here. Hit the big red subscribe button. So let's go WBT. WBT. Weebit Nano on the ASX. This looks interesting. All right, cool. Let's check it out, people. Okay, this is Weebit Nano WBT on the ASX, priced in Australian dollars, a memory chip maker based out of Israel. Okay, what do I see? What do I see? Okay, oh, interesting. Okay, cool. All right. So what I do, just for the newly initiated here, the new subscribers, if you haven't seen a chart request thing, I take a quick first look. I use very simple things. I take a look at the relative strength index. I use trend lines. I use Fibonacci and horizontal lines of resistance and support, and that's pretty much it. And I just give you my non-financial advice, non-financial opinion on what I think this stock may do in the future. Just sort of the levels to watch out for confirmations of, bullish or bearish. Makes sense? Good. I'll do Fibonacci first, actually. I want to find if there's any areas of confluence. Okay, so this chart goes all the way back to 2011. Okay, and I'll take it through there and through the very clear bottom, which it is so far. And so the top here is at $11.50 Australian, and the bottom here is at 20 cents. Shoot. Okay, so out of interest, what I want you to see is as I move this across, are you seeing areas of confluence, right? And it won't be exact. I'll try. So the top here and the bottom here of 20 cents. So I'll try and move it across as best as I can or as slow as I can. Are we seeing any areas of confluence? Now, there might be and there might not be, okay? Fibonacci isn't an exact science. Yeah. It's not an exact science. It's not an exact science. Okay, well, gee, what do you know? All right, cool. Look at that, people. Cool. So this is the Fibonacci from this high, the very obvious high of $11.50, the very obvious low of 20 cents back in March of 2020. Gee, what was happening there? March of 2020. Okay. Can you see any areas of confluence? I can. So let's take a quick look at them. Okay, very clearly. Well, that's the number one. So you discount this because that's the point that I started and the point that I finished. The 786, right? That's through that previous area of resistance. Does that match up with any? Right. The recent peak in March of 2023 at $9 Australian. Okay. Along the way, though, what did you see? You saw a move down to $1.50. So $11.50. Geez, what a huge move. $11.50 in March 2011, all the way down to $1.50 in a year's time, basically. All right. And then we found resistance at a spike, but a close around about, gee, what do you know? $4.50, which is the 0.382 Fibonacci from the old high and this old low. Now, again, this old low, do understand though, this is posted in the future. Okay. So this is hindsight. All of this is future, okay? All of this is hindsight. So do bear that in mind, but it's interesting how it lines up, okay? If one were cluey enough, one might even be able to, and I'm not saying this is always a possibility, but one might even be able to pick bottoms if they feel like they can match up key levels with Fibonacci's before it hits. So for example, and I'll go back, let's just say this was in, and this is hindsight and we're looking at it in hindsight, okay? So this probably means shit, okay? But out of interest, if you were to go, okay, so we've broken down here and here's these major areas that we've had. So let's say ignore all of that, okay? Let's say we peaked at around about here, okay? We had that move and we had that move. And you go, if I use my Fibonacci, what are sort of key levels? So you go, well, I can't do it there because this is lower, right? So if I do that, that actually kind of matches up with the 786, but that really doesn't match up there. Let me go a little bit lower. Yeah, ish. Yeah, no, look, maybe not. No, because see, I'll say I'm wrong on that because you could do it from here. Because that's such a large one. Yeah, so no, you wouldn't have been able to really pick that bottom. But out of interest, out of hindsight, you can see it's pretty darn clear, okay? That area there, this area here made a spike, okay? So before we made that low, it made a play for the 0.236. That's at $2.70 roughly. So it was a spike up. Could you call it an exact hit? No, okay? But we made that low of the 20 cents. And since then, pretty good. It spiked and then it closed at the 0.236 right there. Made a play for the 0.236. Again, this is after the fact of posting this low. So we can talk about future from here, okay? Resistance, a little bit of resistance. Resistance, bang on the 0.382 right there at $4.50, okay? Break back down, failure to hold back down, failure to get back down here. A quick move back up to shonk. What do you know? The 0.786, as I said before. And then since then, found some support at the 0.236 right there. Found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Okay, these are monthly time frames. Look at this. Since we posted the support level here of the $2.80, $2.70, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to call that month, you can call it 6 attempts to break the $4.50 mark at the 0.382 Fibonacci from the old high and the old low. Okay, 6 months failure every single time. That was, yeah, too many times. Okay, so pretty obvious that it was going to take a bit more of a beating. Found support again on the monthly time frame. Okay, and then finally broke through. Okay, so this is where we are now at $2.06. So it's I can't say yet that it's bottomed. Okay, and I won't say it's bottomed yet, but I won't say it has bottomed, but I won't say it can't. What am I saying? I won't say it has bottomed. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. But anywhere from here, you could bottom from here. Okay. The confirmation for me that we'd be back into getting interesting territory is going to be the 0.236 again. So that's at about $2.85 Australian cents. $2.85 Australian. So let me pop that in. Definitely you would want to see it at least close above there. Okay, so I would say getting interested. I wouldn't say getting excited. I'd say getting interested at $2.85. You start closing days above that, then I'll start getting interested in this again. Okay, this would be you call it as other people call it that I follow, they might call it like the wake up line, something like that, but I'll call it the getting interested line. Back above here, you start closing months, not spiking, okay, not like this, not the spike above, a close of a month. You want a solid green above there and decently above, so not just at, okay, so you're talking your $2.90, your $3 area. You start closing there, then that's looking interesting to me. Okay, I'm getting interested. But while we're in this area, I have to look at the other time frames. Okay, so let me do that first. So let's look on the monthly time frame, the relative strength index, very clearly, right? Extremely overvalued, double top, bang. Okay, we're now getting into the area where you could start finding support around here. It could tick up from here, but this support level you can see pretty darn clearly. It's right about there. Okay, so if you were to bounce off here, that's a pretty good bottoming indicator, I would suggest. You'd have to look on the weekly and the daily as well, though. If you start closing below here, then do take into account that WBT has never in its history ever, and it will one day. It absolutely will one day. Could be 10 years from now, could be next week. It will spend, well, it won't be next week because it's the monthly time frame. It will spend some time in at least the bottom end of this relative strength index down here it'll touch this 30 area at least once in its life cycle. Probably, like, it has to, okay? Because it will. That could be 20 years from now, but it will do it, okay? So if you start closing below here, that's looking more likely that's going to be the time where it eventually touches down there, okay? I would watch out for that area as a first bounce because it's never been an extremely undervalued, okay? On the monthly time frame, I would imagine you wouldn't go into extremely undervalued unless something really shocking happens to this stock, right? Something, the CEO, is a big scandal or something like that, okay? I would see, if it ever does get into here, you'd see a bounce off the 30 level. That could be way, way down the track, so just keep that in mind, though. Let's take a look at the weekly. This is interesting, and we'll take a look at the daily. Okay, daily isn't going to tell me as much because it is, it's been extremely undervalued, and then, we're heading up currently on the daily, okay, but it hasn't been extremely overvalued on the daily for a while, and doesn't look like it gets there a lot, okay, so I wouldn't say the daily tells me much. I'd be more wanting to look at the weekly, okay, so weekly is interesting. We have not been extremely undervalued for the stock since March of 2020, but doesn't mean you have to go there, okay? You could get down to this area and then tick up. Out of interest, it's looking interesting here. You've got this move. We would want to see in the next couple of weeks this be tested. So what you want to see in the next couple of weeks is $2.85 get tested. That then moves this back up and yep, there you go. Gee, what do you know? We're right on resistance right now. So a move in the next, if we do, I'm not saying it is, right? But we're at a resistance level right here. If we do continue up and find, and you probably will find some resistance around about here at $2.85, that might coincide with breaking this trend line. That's a positive sign, and then come back and retest it and bounce off, like we saw with the gold to silver ratio, if you remember. That had that trend line and then busted out and then retested and then started curving back up. That's the same thing you would want to see with this. And that would look positive for a move back above the getting interested line. Okay, so let's go back to the monthly. So I'm going to say there's a possibility that it's bottomed here. Okay, it wouldn't surprise me if it does move up. Okay, so let's look at the getting excited line and my final hurdle line. What would they be? They do tend to differ depending on the stock and the larger range that's been in. So this is like $11.50 all the way to 20 cents. Huge range. Just out of interest, let's do some quick stuff here. If you bought this stock, for some reason you noticed this, you're into chip manufacturers, you're into chip stuff, and you saw this particular stock in March of 2020 was having but you were very confident with the fundamentals of this, and you got in around about 20 cents, 2,000%, 4,500%. Okay, that's pretty good. Imagine doing that. Imagine just doing 100%. Imagine getting to 40 cents, right? And then you sold half, and then you recouped your initial investment, and then you're just free riding the rest. And you're just, hey, are you free riding around here? Fantastic. Who cares where it goes, really? As long as it doesn't go back below your 40 cent level, right? I'm just spitting balls here, right? But that's a huge move. Okay, so this is such a large range. That's my getting interested line. I would say, yeah, that's my getting excited line. Easy, right? So $4.50 at the 0.382, that's my getting excited line. Okay, I would even consider getting in here after the getting excited line. That's a very key level. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, so 6 months. You break that, you start closing above, and it has to be above, not at, but $4.50. $4.50. Getting excited. Monthly close. Monthly close, and we'll nearly finish this, guys, and then we'll do some final comments and get out of here, because again, it's a morning show and you've got work to do. Getting excited, very clear there. Can you see it? It's so simple to see, in my humble opinion. You start closing above there, I'm getting excited. You might want to be the kind of risky person who starts seeing it close above the $2.85 level and go, you know what, I'm going to take that risk. You might think to yourself, well, okay, for example, you might think the following. Well, it's above there. It's above there. It's above here. Oh, gee, that looks interesting. This is the hypothetical person that you might be. You might see, I'm not saying this is happening, but imagine if it did this, right? And then something like that, a bounce off, and then that. Ooh, that could be really good looking for you. You might decide to get in here, and imagine, because again, this is such a wide range. Imagine this. Imagine you saw this close a month above at around about $3, $2.90. Let's call it $3 even. And you decided to take a position. Okay. And let's say I'm going to ride it up to the $4.50 getting excited line. Okay. I'm just going to ride it up to here. That's a 50% move. Okay, imagine that. Imagine just making 50%. That's still good. Again, we're talking stocks here. We're not talking crypto. If we're talking crypto, I made 50%. Oh, big deal. That's 50% in a day. You can do 50% in an hour. Okay, you can do 50% in 15 minutes sometimes. All right, but 50% in a stock, again, this is the monthly time frame. Imagine, right, getting in at, say, ignore these time frames, by the way. Imagine saying getting in August and then selling out in November, December. You made 50%. That's a great move anyway. That's a great trade, okay? But then imagine, or if you were the other type and you decided, no, I want to wait until the getting excited line. And then what will my final hurdle line be? You can all see it. My final hurdle, and this is the ultra conservative, very ultra conservative final hurdle, and that's the 0.786. You know I like the 0.786, and that's at 9 Australian dollars. Cool. $9 final hurdle. Close monthly. Cool. Close. I won't say that out loud. Close monthly. Okay. Now this is being ultra conservative. Okay. Really ultra conservative. Cool. It's like, well, yeah, if it's gonna close above there, then clearly it's gonna be, break the all-time high. It's very unlikely to be a double top from there. You got to watch out for double tops, but very unlikely. So you close above there. So imagine this. Imagine deciding to wait for the getting excited line. It's like, all right, we closed above and we did it around about, you could call it, hey, if you want to make it $4.80, $4.70, but you close those months. You get in here and you ride it all the way to the final hurdle because you're not sure, because dead cat bounces can occur at the 786 level, right? Probably not so much on this one because of the wide range, but that's a 90% move. Cool. Or, for example, if you were ultra conservative, ultra conservative. Now let's talk about higher prices, okay? If you were ultra conservative, you went, no, I'm going to wait until the final hurdle, okay? And then I might take some profit later on down the track when it's at certain key levels for me. For me, personally, I think the profit-taking area is probably not going to be there. I think for me, because of this wide range, okay, and this is a logarithmic scale, I am going to say, instead of being between the 1.618 and the 2.618, I'm going to say it's going to be between the 2.618 and the 4.236. So I think your profit-taking area would be somewhere between, ignore the time frames, somewhere between $30 and 47 Australian dollars, okay? Profit-taking area. You can do it sooner, and you probably should be. Profit-taking area right there. Imagine waiting for the final hurdle of $9. It's $9, right? It's $9. It starts closing months above there. But just say you decided I'll just get to $9.20, $9.50, $9.30, okay? And then you go, well, I might take some profits here. That's 215%. That's 400%. What should you do? Get to 100. Gee, what do you know? The difference between the final hurdle and the 1.618, look at that. What does that happen to be? Difference between $9 and $18.40 is roughly 100%. Hey, if you waited for confirmation above the final hurdle of $9 and you sold at the 1.618, you sold half of it at the 1.618, you've recouped your initial investment, you've still got half of your stock left, and you can just free roll it. And hey, if it gets to this area, take some more off the table, and then always hold a bit up your sleeve. If nothing bad's happening with this company, if it's still looking good, for the longer term, keep a little bit, keep 20%, keep 10% left. And then just let that free ride. It might tank, but that's okay. You've sold 90% of your stock already. But what if it happens if it just goes boop, 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 boop? Okay, great. So that is WBT chip making thing. I like it. It's cool. Chips. We're going to need more chips, AI, etc. Memory chips. They are. And so those are my areas. I'll start looking at this again, getting excited there. $4.50, $9, and watch out for that profit-taking area. Get it? Got it? Good. Did you like that? Good. I'm glad. That is that. Final comments, and then we shall get out of here if you have any questions or anything. Tony Pearson says, I wish we could turn back time to a simpler time. Sigh. Do you? I don't know about that. What time would you be turning it back to? This is if we had a time machine and you have to go back to that time and experience everything in that time. I don't think I would now. And I'm, love you, Tony, but this is my opinion. Now is the best time to be in. If I could have certain features of the past and bring them forward into the technology of now, the medical technology of now and all that, yeah, great, let's do that. That's the best of both worlds, right? But you can't have your cake and eat it too. A simpler time, yes, but hey, life expectancy would have been less. cancer drugs and all that, not as, like people dying earlier and all that kind of stuff. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Palladium would be interesting. Yes, I'll get to palladium another time. Yes, I see Tesla dropped like 10% over the weekend. Yep. I call that the sell. I think that I won't do it. I won't look at Tesla right now. I think that was sell on the news. Starship, great Starship launch. Did you see it? Hang on. We're all going to watch it together. Give me 1 second. If you have not seen the following, you are going to watch this right now and be in absolute awe. Give me 1 second. 2 hours. All right, people. We are going to watch this together. This is redonkulous. Give me 1 second. I will do that and I will do that. We're going to watch this together and look at it in awe. Okay? Here we go, people. We are going to watch, and I'll put the sound on as well because you want to hear it. Here we go. This is the spaceship. I'm going to share the screen. The spaceship rocket section launching and coming back to land in its cradle. Let's check it out. Here it comes. Oh no, that's the launch. Dang, that's the launch. Hang on. There's launch. I want to see the one coming back. Is that it coming back? Here it is. This is the one coming back. What the hell? It, look at this. It's like chopsticks in a cradle. What the hell? First attempt. Come on, man. This is just ridiculous. What's the catch? Here we go. Well, we're gonna. This is historical stuff. So you watching this on the day that it happened, within the first 24 hours. This is a very historical event, people. You are watching this on the 24 hours. This will go down in history. This video, this live show right now, will go down in. It'll stay around for a very long time. You are watching this right now. Look at this. What the hell? Come on, people. Sorry, I'll get rid. Look at that. This is just amazing. Okay. That's crazy. Yeah, it dropped like 10% over the weekend. Not for too much longer, I don't think. But so the sell on the news event was the Wii robot thing. And so, it was just a big pumpy to that. They released the thing. They did the Wii robot thing. And the robots came out and all that sort of stuff. They were remote controlled and things where they're showing you what they'll be able to do autonomously eventually and stuff. And this is a bit of a sell on the news event. It dropped. It was at a very crucial point on thing, so it's dropped a bit. And then this. How can Tesla not, apart from getting lawfared out of existence, or apart from something happening to Elon Musk that no one wants to see happen to another individual, how could Tesla not go through the roof? Okay, and Tesla is not SpaceX, but Tesla's kind of like an index for all of Elon's non-Tesla stuff. So the boring company and SpaceX, it's kind of like a proxy, okay? But Tesla itself, the self-driving cars, the robotics, all that. Come on, man. I wish that's how markets worked. Would ASL be a new chart request? ASL, like is this like Mark when we used to be, not you and me together, but when we were back in the Yahoo chat days? Do you remember the Yahoo chat days when you were chatting with someone and you go ASL, which stood for age, sex, location? So you're basically asking someone, hey, how old are you? Are you male or female, and where are you from? So you just go ASL question mark, and you just type in 25/M/Australia or something like that. Do you remember that? ASL. I don't know what ASL is, but we'll do that for another time. EV battery fires are a concern? Yeah, EV battery fires are a concern. Yes, yeah, true. But so is everything else. Just had a knock on the door delivery from Just had a knock on the door. Delivery from Perth Bullion. Jason Ashworth. That reminds me to talk about Perth Bullion, so that's my opening. Thank you. We'll talk about them in just a second. But what I would love you to do, if you want to do it, what I would love someone to do is please do a Perth Bullion Exchange unboxing video. You don't have to have your face in it or anything like that. Keep it as anonymous as you want. Just have the camera facing away from you and whatever, and do an unboxing. You don't have to do it, Jason, but can someone do that soon? We have seen them before on the internet, but I want to promote them, okay? So if you do an unboxing video and you pop it on your own channel, I will show it on this channel, and I'll promote the hell out of it as well. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, Australia's first dealer to offer free express shipping, free shipping on all discount volumes. perthbullion.com.au, my preferred physical bullion dealer. Free shipping Australia-wide, never happened before in Australia. No businesses are game enough to do it. You buy over a certain amount as long as you have 20 or more items in your shopping cart. And it does not have to be 20 of the same item. Let's give you an example. Let's add 5 of the Royal Canadian Mint 1 gram gold coins. Okay, cool. Let's add those. Okay, so now I've got 5 things in my shopping cart. Now the delivery over here is $17.50 Australian by Australia Post. Or if you want to get it shipped by Team GE Express, then it's $14.47. Okay, so you've got a couple of different shipping options. Of course, you could collect it in the store, or you could opt for their 3-month free storage. So if you're buying a bunch of stuff, smaller stuff, and you don't want to pay shipping every time, just use the 3 months free storage option, okay? And then later on down the track, you just pay 1 shipping fee, and then you get it all sent out to you in one go. However, this is only 5 things in your shopping cart. Let's go to silver. Okay, this is going to be the extended plug for Perth Bullion Exchange. Let's say you want a few 1/10 ounce. Okay, you want a few 1/10 ounce silver rounds. Okay, let's add 10 of those. Okay, 10 of those. Go to the shopping cart, and now there'll be 15 items in the shopping cart. Okay, so there's 15 items in total, 10 plus 5, 15, and you still have a shipping amount of $17.50 or $14.47. Okay. Now let's just say that's all you wanted. Well, let's say you could handle a little bit extra. All you need to do is add 5 more things to your shopping cart. Now that could be 5 Year of the Snake, 1/2 ounce things. It could be 5 of those. Or if you want, you're like, I just want the cheapest stuff possible. Just add another 5 of these, because they're 1/2 ounce silver rounds. They have the 1/10 ounce silver rounds. So let me do something different. Let's just say you wanted, I want 5 buffaloes as well. Okay, haven't had buffaloes before. I'm going to get 5 of those. So now, let's see what happens. Gee, what do you know? 10 plus 5, 15 plus 5 is 20. You now have 20 items in your shopping cart. Shipping is free, okay? You didn't have to buy 20 of these to get free shipping. You didn't have to buy 20 of these. You didn't have to buy 20 of these. You mixed and matched to buy 20 or more of anything. Okay, a combination of 20 or more, free shipping, Australia-wide, express delivery, fully insured, fully tracked, all that other stuff, except it's free. If you are not purchasing from Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, you are crazy. If you've got your favorite bullion dealer, of which you know I've worked for 3 major ones. I worked for Goldstackers, I worked for Bullion Now, I worked for Ainslie Bullion. If you are not also purchasing from Perth Bullion Exchange, you've got rocks in your head, okay? Because you can get free shipping. That accounts for a lot over time as well. You want something really quick. You want stuff that you can't normally get. A lot of Scottsdale products. Hey, if you want to buy unallocated from Perth Bullion Exchange as well, you can now do that too. So they have an unallocated program too, very similar to Bullion Now's unallocated program, okay, except actually slightly cheaper fees on certain items as well. So they're kicking goals too. I will be doing an interview with Ricky from Perth Bullion Exchange very, very soon, possibly even tomorrow. So that is perthbullion.com.au and wealthstack.com, another unallocated gold program with the extra benefit of being able to use a phone app, iPhone or Android app. You track it, a wonderful dashboard to track your unallocated gold with the added benefits of a debit card coming. Okay, it's not in existence yet. It's coming towards the end of the year. A debit card coming to spend your gold in any store that accepts Visa or MasterCard. Okay, that's coming. You'll be able to buy silver unallocated. You'll be able to buy platinum unallocated with very cheap fees. You can buy gold unallocated for spot plus 1%, no matter how much you buy or how little you buy. You can sell it back to Wealthstack for spot minus 0.5%. The spreads are very, very good. Okay, so I urge you to go to wealthstack.com. I think they're still in maintenance mode for the moment, but it's free to join. You have to add ID and all that kind of stuff. You want to start purchasing gold, of course. And go to wealthstack.com, go all the way down to the frequently asked questions page here. Just read the frequently asked questions, find out all about it. I'll do an interview probably with one of the other members of the Wealthstack team. I did an interview with the CEO, David Ski, about a month ago with David. It's a great video, great interview. Check that out on my channel. Just type in David Ski, Wealthstack, and I'm sure that'll be the first thing that comes up on YouTube because I think I'm the first person to interview him, actually, as far as I'm aware. So they're doing great guns, and I may interview someone else from the team very, very soon too. So head over to wealthstack.com. Could not recommend them more highly. Final comments, and let's get out of here. Again, I'd love to see an unboxing video. New memory type called ReRAM memory. Ooh, so it's new emerging technology too for that WBT. That's good. Perhaps SLV tomorrow. Remind me tomorrow, please, Mark. You don't have to do that at all. You do not have to do that at all, Tony, and I'm not even going to pop that up there. The Don, hi all. G'day, the Don. I love Starship. It's so cool. Wasn't that cool? That landing was absolutely incredible. Come on, man. It's just crazy. Let's see. So you would want to take it back to the 80s, 90s. Food tasted so much better back then. Oh, it did. But if you got cancer, yeah, not so much. Although if you took care of what you ate, you probably wouldn't get cancer in the first place. But, medical technology is obviously better than it is now. So it's like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It's like, yeah, 80s, 90s. Of course, I was a kid in the 80s and a teenager in the 90s. So, the 80s, what a time. I mean, I don't love 80s music so much, even though I do a little bit of it. But it's not what I generally listen to. But the 80s, man, you would go out. Again, I was a tail ender. I'm a tail ender Gen Xer. Okay, so I was born late 70s. So I'm a tail end of the Gen Xers. But even I remember the time where, I'd get kicked. I'd be out all day. I'd be out in the street playing with all the other kids on the weekend in the street by ourselves. There were no parents watching us. They weren't watching from 10 feet away or just sitting on their phones on the park bench or whatever. They were in the house and we were just in the street. It wasn't a court or anything. We're just in the street. Cars would go by. They'd watch out. They'd drive slow. We wouldn't get hit by cars. We'd play in the parking lot. We'd just make up games. And then, at some point you'd get a dinner's ready. And then you'd just go back in. Like, can you imagine? It was glorious. It was glorious. But then I went through the 90s as well. So then that started getting more helicopter parenting and all that kind of stuff. But I was raised by, I won't get too personal, but I was raised by my grandparents. When I do the private membership, which I will be doing, it's coming really soon with extra amazing discounts from Perth Bullion Exchange. Ongoing discounts for members only that non-members cannot get. Okay, so that's number one. But I'll be doing extra content on the private channel. I'll get a bit more personal. I'll talk about my personal life and that. But I was raised by my grandparents, so even through the 90s as a teenager and all that, my grandparents were old school. Okay, so I kind of lived more that thing. Greetings, Sir Alfred. Great to see you again. Can do an unboxing. That'd be awesome. Thanks, Jason. I got your email, by the way, Jason. Thank you for that. Haven't had time to respond. Self-driving cars. What could go wrong? Well, gas-propelled vehicles that are not horse and buggy. What could go wrong? They were saying the same thing. And then, some things go wrong and then some things get fixed. Okay, but progress, Let's see, truck drivers, bus drivers, Uber drivers, food delivery drivers, all out of a job? Yes, but horse and buggy, horse and buggy riders were out of a job until something else came along and they got the jobs that way. Things move along. UBI coming soon. I do believe a form of universal basic income will probably be coming soon. I don't know what form that's going to be in. I think, like Elon Musk says, and I tend to, I'm not going to say I don't agree with everything he says, but a lot of what he says does make sense. So it does align with my general thinking, which is if technology goes where we think it's going to go, hopefully with AI, as long as it doesn't, revolt on us and, we're living in Terminator 2 style, future. If there's no robot uprising, AI will, and robotics and automation will make everything ultra cheap, to the point where things are so cheap that a UBI that would be necessary would be incredibly low level in terms of the amount each person would need or each family would need. So I do see a version of that, but I see it in combination with the cost of lots and lots of everyday things going right down because of the automation. So we're potentially going into a golden age. And on that note, people, I'm going to leave it at that because that was the last comment anyway. That has been Good Morning Stackers for Monday, the 14th of October, 2014. You will get another daily live show tomorrow, an interview probably with Ricky from Perth Bullion Exchange coming this week sometime. I think I'll coordinate with Ricky, and because we want to talk about a couple of things to do with his business. And that's it, people. Of course, I'm going to do that because we have to dance it out. This has been
Good Morning Stack.
Oh yeah, we're feeling fine.
Good Morning Stack.
It's podcast time.
all right. Grab
Grab a tasty beverage. Let's get in the groove.
and let's do the
Synchronized slurp. Now we're on the
in
move.
3, 2, 1. Slap it.
Good Morning Stack.
Oh yeah, we're feeling fine.
Oh yeah, have a great day, everyone. Stay safe, stay informed, keep stacking. I am Joe Main. This has been Good Morning Stackers. I'll see you tomorrow.